You say that students will have to wait another year if the student fails WAEC. There's only one JAMB body. If you fail JAMB as a student and you don't make cutoff, don't you have to wait another year? Do we make another body just so that students can have options?
No. You see, it is not like that.
How is it? You're talking about university, polytechnics, colleges of education.
You say what?
You're talking about UTME across board.
Of course, because now it depends on how you fill your JAMB form. Because you may feel...
how many slots are there? How many schools can you possibly
you have
take?
Choices.
Exactly.
You have three choices.
If you do not meet the cutoff for the course you decide, because you know you have to put the course also in mind.
But you are
for the 3 universities that you've picked, what options does it leave you? Don't you have to wait to the following year?
You are lucky. Look at...
Have we not seen children who wait year in, year out, waiting to enter schools? Isn't that the reality?
I don't get it right now. Do you know that for the 3 you are paying the same money? Whereas, if you are
the price of one.
Yes.
And we are...
Whereas, if you are to be concessional exam, you are going to take forms.
Exactly. We understand that, but we're saying that if we're able to find a solution where students do not have to pay monies for all the 3 universities, but can write their separate exams and have as many options as they want, doesn't it make it easier?
No, JAMB has simplified it. Why it has done so is this. Do you know, if you pay say 9,000 for JAMB, and you have 3 choices, it's a different ball game than to just pay for 3 institutions. You pay 10,000 in 3 places, which is about 30,000. Mind you, we are discussing students and we are discussing parents.
We're discussing education.
I'm coming.
And there should be no price too great to pay.
Yes.
And you have said that as much.
Yes. Education cannot be expensive as to say that you should not pay. But mind you, you should take into consideration our society.
How?
An average Nigerian is just managing to survive. And thank God, if we make education less expensive, the better. That is why you give kudos to the likes of Baba Olo,
do you know
who open the doors of education.
Do you know the amount Nigerians spend on seeking education abroad?
No, when you say Nigerians, you are talking of the elite.
Oh, they are not Nigerians?
No, they are Nigerians, quite right. You see, the real Nigerians.
Oh.
The real Nigerians are the hewers of wood and drawers of water.
So and they are the real Nigerians?
No. What you don't seem to get what I'm saying. My parents couldn't send me to the university abroad, and I'm very sure that most of the Nigerians who are calling the shots today, they didn't go abroad to study. So are you now saying that we should go abroad?
But your parents did not exactly, they would not have found it easy. We know a host of people who could not afford university education, but because of scholarships. It did not mean that they brought down the standards of education. But let's not even go into that argument, because we're talking about JAMB, we're talking about NECO, we're talking about the streamlining of this. How does I'm not still quite sure how the scrapping of NECO. Are you aware that we're one of the largest contributors to the regional West Africa? Yes. Are we making the most of our contributions in WAEC?
Don't contradict yourself. No matter how expensive education is, the alternative is ignorance, which is better imagined.
No matter how expensive it is.
Yes.
You just said that now.
Yes. The alternative is ignorance. But even at that.
So why are we complaining about the expenses then?
No, you don't. So do we make it more expensive?
No,
what I'm saying is
I understand what you're saying.
No
matter how expensive it is.
Yes.
Ignorance is more expensive.
It's not an alternative. So, but even at that, we should make sure that we make education and access to education.
Part of what
less expensive.
We should make education accessible. We should make it less expensive.
That's
it's NECO free.
You say what?
Don't students pay to take NECO?
They do.
Exactly. So if we say you do not have to do this anymore, sit, pass WAEC. If you must, there's GCE afterwards. You can always write your GCE. Doesn't that make life a little simpler for the students?
Come again. Let me get your question again, please.
My question is this. You've talked about how things are going to be expensive because students will have to buy forms for this school,
the hardship.
For that school. That's the only hardship you're saying.
It's not the only one, but that is one.
The hardship you're saying for students is that they will have to buy multiple forms.
That's right.
You're not saying the advantage, because this multiple forms is totally optional. You can decide that it's just a form of one school that you want to buy and concentrate on passing. Isn't that true?
Can you take that risk?
Is it not possible?
It is, but can you take that risk?
These are possibilities.
Can you take that risk? You can now see, you are even bringing out the beauty of retaining UTME. Because if you just buy one form and you are unfortunate, you couldn't make it, that means you have to wait till next year. But which
is the same thing that happens with JAMB. That's what we're saying. That if you do not, have you not seen
the,
people who say JAMB jammed me, so I'm sitting at home the next? It's the truth.
Yes, well.
And we saw that when schools introduced what they call pre-degree programs, diploma programs, this opened up the room for many people to be able to get access to education.
Of course.
Is that not true?
Of course.
So if we're not saying that JAMB, you're not exactly living up to your standard, because right now it seems the schools have been able to find other options aside you. Because while JAMB was existed, all the schools were still offering their programs, pre-degrees, diplomas, and students were buying forms anyway. So why don't we as well just give JAMB another role and then make it open? Isn't that making it more accessible, which is what you're saying?
Making it open.
Making it more accessible?
Of course, you should open the doors of the university or of
education. That's what you're arguing.
No, you don't seem to get what you're saying. What we are saying is that
well, don't seem to get it done.
No, just leave instead of closing the door. Open more doors. No, as it is now, people are comfortable with JAMB and
because of the alternatives.
You say what?
Because of the alternatives.
Of course. Because
so we should have JAMB, we should have NECO, YX, all of them.
The more, the merrier. The more, the merrier.
Now I get a picture. What about the UTM, the post UTME? Should that also stay side by side with the
No,
the
it is unnecessary. The post UTME thing is unnecessary.
By the way, how is JAMB faring now? Is it better than what it used to be?
Of course. As students, of course. Since 2007, JAMB has been doing very well. JAMB has been doing really well.
It's very interesting you say since 2007.
How do you mean very well?
For example now,
what about the result?
If you take JAMB today, within 1 week, within 6 days, your result is out. And it's online.
You know you said before.
Unlike before when you go to Buhari, you see people milling around the office.
You said that it's since 2007. It's very interesting. I think almost all of us sitting here would have finished university by that time. You know, you called us beneficiaries of JAMB before 2007.
No, but is that not true?
What was this? I would not know. I did not write JAMB in 2007.
No, JAMB has been existing before 2007.
Because if you ask all of us sitting here, based on our experiences of JAMB, you know, because you have said that the improvement year for you was 2007. We'll all have different tales to tell. And it will not be that it was that we were beneficiaries. As at the time I was about to enter university, there were lots of options. You could take JAMB, you could buy a pre-degree form, you could buy a diploma form. You had as many options as possible. In fact, JAMB was just one of those things that you just did to fulfill all righteousness, because at some point students were not looking forward to that. That is somebody's experience.
You mean you went through pre-degree?
I went through.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Whether or not I went through pre-degree.
Because JAMB,
you know, I'm about to answer your question. But whether or not I went through pre-degree is not the issue. It was that I had as many options to me as possible. If you want to know, I finally used my JAMB scores to get into school.
That's right.
But I'm saying that only came up as an option. That was an option we later on explored. For many students, open the doors. It did not matter that I had to buy a pre-degree form. It did not matter as many schools as I had to buy the pre-degree form, because the university education was what we were looking for. And that was what we got at the end of the day. So why should we be complaining on behalf of children that they will have to buy too many forms?
No fair.
Because as it stands right now, you're already buying the too many forms, whether or not you accept it.
Well, you are lucky. You are one of the Lucky few.
Your father
You
doesn't
don't
have to be
seem to
wealthy, or your
understand
mother.
what these students go through.